workshop of combining Web2 and Web3 data effectively that we're hosting together with Footprint Analytics. My name is Saida, and I am education lead at MetricsDAO, which is a Web3 analytics community. And in this community, we have thousands of analysts who are actively going through our analytics challenges as well as our educational programs. So today with us in our workshop, we have Wade, who is the CTO at Footprint Analytics. And Footprint Analytics is a data platform blending Web2 and Web3 data with abstractions. So who is better than Footprint Analytics to tell us how we can actually combine Web2 and Web3 data effectively, which is the topic of today's workshop. So Wade, over to you.
Yep, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Wade. I'm currently the CTO of the company, Footprint Analytics. So, as you know that this is might be the if my memory serves, this is the second time I came to here to work with MetricsDAO. It's very honored to be here. So Footprint Analytics is kind of a Google Analytics platform when we get started especially for GameFi and NFT. So we help the crypto industry to more easier to analyze the crypto data. Currently, as I mentioned, I'm CTO of the company. Before joining Footprint, I have decades of technical experience, including including work as a data scientist before, and which building an anti-fraud system for AI model, including a credit score system, and that gained over the 100% APY in across several countries. I used to be a quant lead crypto trading team back in 2020. So today we'll cover the several content, which is an overview of Footprint Analytics. So the problem, to state the problem we're trying to solve is analyzing protocol and how Footprint, using Footprint to make it more easier, and to reveal the data pipeline behind the scene. Also, the features of the second product we call the Footprint Go Analytics. We might need to dive into some demo or code later. So, so a little bit about Footprint. Footprint is here now. We can see that we have make a few snapshots. And for Footprint Analytics second product, apart from what we already know from Footprint Analytics, this is the official website. As you can see, we have two separate products. One is the Analytics web app, which is quite similar to Flipside Crypto or Do Analytics at the beginning. So it's allowed the data analysts to analyze the data chart, or they build a data dashboard in using Web3 data. So the second product is we call growth analytics, which is more focused on help the marketer to make a data-driven decision using both Web2 and Web3 data. So today we more focus on the second product, which is including combining Web2 and Web3 data. So let me jump back to the slide. Okay. In total, as I mentioned, we have two separate products. This is the one called Footprint Go for Analytics. We kind of work as a SaaS model, more focused on using easy way to help the analyst and marketer to make a decision. We extract the data from on-chain, which often hundreds of even thousands of tables. but we're using more streamlined method for now, by creating as we already mentioned that we build abstraction for many domains, including NFT and GameFi, and even DeFi. So we make cross protocol across uh, different blockchain with easy and more accurate and more complete. So for now, we already covered 26 chain within one and a half year. I guess we have index 80 marketplace and over uh, 2000 GameFi protocol. Um, we are more expertise on GameFi and NFT domain. So as you can see, we not only EVM and non-EVM compatible chain index in footprint analytics, but also some game specific chain like OA6 and running DFK, which is some neck of Avalanche. So so jump back to the what I mentioned when we're trying to analyze a protocol in the real world. The typical way is what we showed in this chart. We have on-chain data, also off-chain data, and usually we using such as Dune and some NFT like some empty data vendor like empty scan or empty go or other the NFT data vendor, and then pull their data from using the API. So and then combining some off-chain data such as Twitter and or Google Analytics data, and then put them back to our data warehouse, and then combining our SQL or our gaming or even we call the Web3 traditional database, and then we would generate a BI dashboard. For now, you can see that this is not only the multiple chain, and we also encounter the unstructured and unsegmented Web3 data, also including some Web2 centralized data such as Twitter and some flyers if you have apps. So what we're trying to solve this typical information silos problem in big data. We want to build several tools to make things easier, which is sorry, which is we call to standardize the Web2 and Web3 data with abstraction. As you can see that from left-hand side on-chain data, also off-chain data, we using the same method to normalize and building the abstraction, so that we can using we call not only the raw data but also a structured data such as if you're working on and something in empty marketplace, let's say that OpenSea and Bird, that we have empty um, uh, we call the table name is in our footprint analytics is empty transaction and empty transfer or empty order, which is a listing order in the marketplace. So by building this abstraction, we have more easier to write our business logic and using less lines of code. So let's say that we exploring on-chain data. Sometimes you can just uh, see the a wallet send something to B wallet, but you didn't know what happened inside, and either it's a transfer to a friend or NFT happening a broad order in OpenSea or a swap by either to wrap a BTC or lending and so on. So that's why we build this abstraction to make things easier. So also for wallet address, we will mapping those protocol wallet address into let's say that Twitter account or social account in your community. We're trying to mapping this to in order to bring a more complete user profile and to understanding what is happening in your website when the user trying to browse your web and experience clicking some button, the what exactly the user is, what decision has been clicked on your web app. So that's what we're trying to solve. Um, the advantage of building this abstraction data in data analyst, as I mentioned, some uh, at the early version of Dune Analytics, they split into every event into several tables. Even just one protocol, they might have even hundreds of thousands of uh, tables. That's this not very uh, easy for analysts, even a senior analyst, to analyze those data. So we trying to just I mentioned, make things more easier. So we built this abstraction, including M domain or gaming domain or event, which combining the Web2 data into our platform. So that's what wanted to build with more accurate, concise, and complete and fast way to let the marketer to make decision, let the analyst to focus on a more on their business domain. So a few things to mention that our second product, Footprint Growth Analytics, I was trying to show them some demo later. So as you can see that we have connected many data source into our data lake. So you can see that we can integrate some traditional database like MySQL, Postgres, and even Snowflake, sorry, and even some products from Apple Store, Google Console, and Google Analytics. For the left-hand side, we have the traditional the web app for Footprint Analytics, which help the data analysts to analyze the on-chain data. This is have similar experience like or you guys already using Flipside Crypto and Dune Analytics. We not only provide the SQL a query for the user, but also provide the drag and drop experience, just like any BI tool such as Tableau in traditional BI tools domain. So for the right on the bottom on the right, you can see that we have several activation tools. So we integrate many third party in order to let them workflow more seamless, especially when you're trying to issue a job or managing a marketing campaign with our tool help. We're trying to make things more seamless and easier. So before I'm trying to jump into the technical detail, I'm trying to show some demo here. So let me share this. That okay, you can see that this is a front end web app. On the top, you can see click and then jump to the Go Analytics. As I mentioned, this is more protocol oriented. So as you can see, this is a sandbox dashboard. This is built for this protocol, the sandbox. So all these overview dashboard of this domain, including Ethereum and Polygon. We have the user perspective and all the summary and the NFT and the gamer, and also for the checking the price, checking the retention rate bi-weekly, and checking the latest transaction even daily. So, but also we have some NFT perspective to trying to see the holder transaction, buyer and seller. This is all using the template of Footprint, and you can use in the Footprint web app template. So besides this, you can see that even we can jump into typical wallet address to see what happened in this wallet adjusted terms. You can see that this is the a wallet perspective to trying to show that what is holding and the total number of token, and also jump back to the previous one. And this is just one wallet perspective. You can see that gaming activity, and shifting from different game, which is previously is CryptoKitty, and then at the very early stage of a Decentraland, and then playing around with the sandbox and later, and etc. So we also have some features for managing the community. As you can see that this is the total members in the sandbox, around almost 190K address here. So you can see that we have some filter to filter out the address for this is kind of tool for the marketer, and you can see that we have tagged some of the user, and then you can even using some action for the just I meant what I mentioned, that you can send them try to send them email or Twitter mention or a campaign by the tool will be integrated with our third party a protocol. So also you can, or I just already show you the user profile, and also you can using some connector I will show later to connect the data in such as Google Analytics. So also including some of the Twitter Discord. I will. I guess I try to using some demo account that will be more data. So as I mentioned, this funnel is using the whole data, including the Google Analytics. So as you can see, the whole user journey from the Web2 and into the Web3. This is the funnel, and also we have the checking the Twitter account and checking their Twitter trend, follow trend, and we're trying to using some special campaign mechanism to check their Twitter follower. So we also could build the Discord bot to check the uh, members' activity in their Discord. So about this part, that is what we call the combining the Web2 data. This is part of those features. Uh, by what I mentioned, the social connector is what we have is typical is Twitter and Discord. We after we set up a few bots, we were able to generate those charts in our platform. So for more, we have Google Analytics um, connector, which is just you can authorize our connector, and then once the setup is done, we could pull the data either with daily or hourly or even in minutes. And also we have more connector here. So even just I mentioned, we can have some gaming database in our usually we serve more many gaming customer gaming protocol. So we might have some gaming database we can able to connect with. So apart from the connector, we can integrate some channel which is integrated with our third-party protocol, including email and also some Quest platform and some message protocol. So but we can even, just I mentioned, that apart from this traditional Telegram, Twitter, and Discord, we can connect with. We can even connect with any database or API by we can write our own connector. So even we can connect with website crypto's API and then connect the data into our platform, even from to analytics or even the subgraph or something else. So let me jump back to the slide for more technical details. So I will explain a few more about the technical detail behind the scene. Behind the scene. So as I mentioned, what we provide is not only the bronze data, we have also silver data and gold data. But what I mean is usually we have the transparent to the public is the transaction such as Ethereum transaction, Ethereum transfer, events unlocked, or even chase that is showed in Property Analytics. If you're trying to create a chart um, in our web application, you can easily do that. It's quite similar to any data analyst platform. Um, what I mentioned is the silver data and bronze data. We have a different categories, uh, such as block, logs, transfer, and chase. In silver, we have we call them let's say that in empty domain, empty order, empty collection, and so but the key one significant differences apart from our platform that differentiated our platform and others is we have uh, we call them regardless lots of Web2 data or we call static data, including a mapping between a protocol and the smart contracts. Let's say that we try to show. We have some protocol data that we gather here. So you can see that we're using some kind of slug or as our ID, and also you can see that we can using contract info to check. This is a foreign key comparing to the previous one, so you can easily using this ID to check the whole protocol information instead of gather lots of information in some protocol, and even uh, in some scenario the one of the protocol contract smart contract was decorated or just upgraded or even just added a new smart contract. This work is maintained by our official team, so this might help you to save a few time to monitor the change and using easier way with less code when you're trying to write the SQL behind. Okay, so jump back to the slide. What I mentioned about the silver is in NFT that is empty transaction transfer. This is we already call the abstraction domain. So in Go, we have we call the pre-aggregation, which is more easier for the marketer or even some media background user that without technical background, SQL background, that they might be easier to using our BI tool, which is a footprint web app, and to using drag and drop, and then the data chart or data dashboard just pop up more easily. So um, when I talk about more, I will talk about more about our connector. So from the right hand side, you can see that there's the job running behind for pulling the data from Google Analytics to one of our a staging database. We are using Progress as a staging database for Web2 data. So you can see that he's running in daily. So we build this connector uh, with the features of easy installing and easy configuration that might support a wide range of data source. As I mentioned, that we covered over hundreds of data connector, even some data warehouse and some traditional database, and more. We have a customized data extraction. We support incremental data extraction. We have error handling. Um, so the next one is for the user event abstraction. As you can see that we mentioned abstraction many times and normalization many times because that is what we invest most of our resource on. You can see that we take some example for FIS and Google Analytics and Apple Store for their connector or as an example. So you can see that the connected server is maintained by us. We pull our data using some kind of token that authorized in by the users or by some protocol owner, and then we pull the data in a schedule, and then we have our we call the abstraction schema, and we call silver table, and then to using the user mapping, and then to map the unique user and the wallet address, and then you can see that from a more event and user perspective to have a more easier way to accessing the silver table, and then uh, you can see from the right hand side, you can see the click event and download event and how many user has triggered this event and in which day. And you can build it in not only day but within hourly, it will be all right. We allow the user to write their SQL for the protocol data analyst. So we using this tool to help the uh, data analyst to doing the data stitching work and for the for to solve the pain or let the pain become lesser, and then let the data analyst to focus on more on about their business logic. So one recap uh, for our products is we enable the protocol to connect multiple connector and allow the marketer to using our tag or filter for the activation in using our integrated third-party application. What we already have is for the 1.5 year where we build some template, build a dashboard for the protocol owner that can just easily clone or copy the dashboard and then just filter a field what he wanted to filter, such as he filtered the protocol slot, which is the protocol ID, what I mentioned as a unique protocol ID in our database. So we're using this technique to make it more easier with less code, less error rate, and then to also with less cost, lower cost, of course. So um, uh, this chart just show that what previous slide for the activation, we can select a few user using our filter for to generate a user segmentation, and then we will have been able to let's say that you wanted to activate some uh, uh, that user just new on board, or for the church user, you can send an email in our web application using our activation tool, and then you can or even check the detail of the conversion rate of the Quest campaign in some Quest platform. So a few just 2 to 3 minutes to show the features of Ring Go Analytics. Um, as you can see that the data connector and activity channel already show, and also we have some user funnel and user retention and user social activity for this preview dashboard. We also know that this might be help some protocol, but we're not solving all the problem he has. So we also provide the customer uh, query for the analysts to solving their own special case. So we also enable the user to using traditional SQL or drag and drop is using this drag and drop operation to create chart to try to add their own and dashboard into their own protocol. That's what we help the whole protocol with our tool more easily. So a few more about the members and gamer profile. I've already I just show a few that we might integrate some uh, uh, Twitter bots or Discord bot, so you can see that some protocol after they set up a few bots using our tool, we might already know that the Twitter and Discord ID in their community member. So that's what we built for the protocol, because sometimes you didn't have the user's email in some scenario, especially not the GameFi and social fi domain. Typical is DeFi domain. You didn't even have the user's email, but in traditional GameFi, usually the protocol might already have the email account, but not have all the social account. Okay, so we also have some campaign analysts if you using some uh, uh, Web3 Quest like protocol, that we might able to get those information of the Quest tasks that you launch in using such as Galaxy in Polygon. So we might able to have a more comprehensive perspective to look at each campaign and look at the detail of the user profile, and then might help you to do the smart decision using data. So what's more, we have some airdrop analytics. So what we currently building is also using some machine learning techniques to building the airdrop tools uh, to let the uh, protocol to increase their ROI when they're doing their airdrop campaign. You can stay tuned with footprint analytics. We later the beginning of June next month, I guess, we will release our airdrop analytics to help the protocol to using some advanced technique to launch an airdrop. So what's more, we have some tagging. So this is one of the features that we have on Footprint Analytics. We have some bot and simple detection. This is just one showcase uh, for protocol called CyberConnect. We have the bot detect behind the scene using some machine learning technique, using some user clustering. Uh, you can see that this is the selected wallet in a time series, and the white column is the behavior using the same method uh, across across different wallet address. So you can see that this is manipulated by some kind of program launch control behind the scene. So this is all labeled in our platform. But as I mentioned, our project is more protocol oriented. So not all the information is was checked across all the protocol. So we once the protocol is on board in our application, uh, which is footprint global analytics, we will have to detect the bots and detect the symbol and try to label lots of them in, in different perspective. That's what we do, especially what I'm focused on because I'm kind of more focused on data scientists. So also we trying to build uh, few early stage toy that is using ChatGPT to help the data analysts to um, write SQL. In some scenario, the user might uh, not familiar with our platform or not familiar with our data table. We're trying to solving this problem by trying to let them to write we call the prompt, and then let the machine to run the uh, generate and write the SQL, and then automatically run, and then we try to create some chart even in the future. So that's what we does in total. We have zero coding, customer analyst, and some standard dashboard, but we also allow user to using traditional data analysis platform. Just you guys already using in website or in doing any data analysis platform. We allow you to using this we call the silver table or gold table, and then this gold table is an aggregation table, and you have those protocol data uh, aggregation. We can check some gaming perspective, address perspective, NFT perspective, but also more important is you can using this to for even uh, complex user scenario. But if this problem if this table doesn't solve your problem, you can still using uh, what we haven't solved or haven't indexed using such as a block or even a transaction or even trace table. You can still using the traditional way. So I guess that's pretty much of everything. So we have more feature to explore in the future, and we will deliver more features using our AI technology or using our structure table, or we call silver table, to help the data analysts or the marketer to make the data-driven decision and with more easy way, uh, let them to enjoy life. And write less code, less error with lower cost. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. So, do you have any question for now?
Thank you so much, Wade, for the excellent presentation. And we do have a couple of questions in the chat. So one is by Amir, which is the normalization operation then sequentially or in parallel?
Okay. The normalization is actually behind the scenes using DBT technology is maintained by our airflow. So it's kind of in parallel. So we have multiple data pipeline to handle this incoming data in different domains. NFT, uh, we might have in NFT we might have uh, fetching those data both on chain and both from some third party like reservoir, uh, especially in they're trying they're kind of experts in the listing in empty domain, so it's in parallel.
Amazing. Um, Thank you for your question. We have another one as well here in the chat, which is it possible to use the API to view charts in an external application?
Yes, it is. Actually, we kind of quite open to the community. We also not only provide. Let's see, trying to share my screen. If you're trying to create some dashboard, and you can see that we can even have some embedded HTML, or even we can add some Tableau link here, and then we can allow the user to upload their data, and even just what I mentioned, we have connector. We are able to connect any database, including such as a traditional database, or even we can connect some data from Dune Analytics or Flipside Crypto. Just we have the technology behind of the what I mentioned is connector. So the answer is of course. Yeah.
Mhm. Of course. Okay. Okay. Great. So it is possible. Um, right. So if anyone else has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. And if something comes up for people maybe afterwards, or for those who are watching the recording, what could be a good place to ask those questions after the session? How we could connect with Footprint Analytics?
I guess you can join our Discord channel, or follow our Twitter for the latest release. As I mentioned, in some scenario we release our latest progress in Twitter but also in our Discord. So you can always raise your hands and uh, drop a message in our Discord. We have our community member to answer it, and it's quite open to discuss.
Amazing, amazing. So do ensure to connect with Footprint Analytics and give them a follow. And I see that there's another question that has just popped up here in the chat, which is, could we do a quick example of how you would analyze Web2 and Web3 data for a decentralized application?
Yep. So let me jump back to a previous slide. Wait a second. So as you can see that this more technical perspective. Let me share this slide. This is more technical side. So you can see that we have GA connected. GA is stand for Google Analytics. So we pull out those data in using the Google Analytics API. When we can, once the front end engineer set up the checking event in the app, there might be some event using their uh, wallet or checking their wallet, and every uh, event perspective using Google database. So we connect the Google Analytics database, and some scenarios Google provides a database. I couldn't remember the database name of Google, but we were able to connect those database. And once the engineer or the DevOps allow us to uh, have a permission to access those data, and then we can combine those data with the wallet address. So we're trying to monetize which kind of wallet is, let's say that there's some high potential user just on board, you can get those funnel rates across different user segmentation, so you can understand, or you can you need to solve the problem of when the user on board, especially for the new gamer or for the potential user or for the trust user. You can see the difference, the behavior of their when they using your DApp, and even not just interaction with your protocol. When you're trying to onboard, you can get uh, even if you in some gaming protocol. Let's say there was some as far as I know that there was some protocol they're trying to build some platform like Steam platform. They try to using some notification mechanism or recommend system, just using this using our platform to trying to solve this problem. That's what we build those enable the protocol to build this kind of feature using Web2 and Web3 data.
Thank you so much, Wade, for demonstrating it. And there was also a question in the chat, but it has already been answered by Alex from Footprint, which is, what is Footprint's biggest advantage over the competitors? And the answer is ease of use, 26 chains, wallet tags, and API. And maybe Wade, to have anything to add here?
Yeah. From the data source side, you can say that if you wanted to talk more, is from more technical side, what we have is structure table. This is more easy way when trying to solve the problem with less SQL. Also might include lesser error rates. So things might become easier when you're trying to focus your time, spend more time instead of doing the data stitching work on data mining work, and you can focus more on the business domain inside. And also, we trying to using some machine learning technique to solve this problem, such as bot detection, or even what I mentioned is ChatGPT to write the SQL for you. And we are not. This is quite we call the alpha stage, but we already released in our platform. You can try to use, but we will later we will integrate more more stably and more feature about to try to let you to write just ask the question, and then they will the bot will try to write the right SQL for you. Yeah.
Amazing to see you incorporating the future of AI. Thank you so much for showcasing us this wonderful platform, Bait, and for everyone here who asked questions and who attended this session today. I hope you enjoyed it and got some insights during today's presentation. And we can then finish this session. And I hope you all have a lovely evening or day. And thank you, Rach, again for your wonderful inputs. And maybe just before we close off completely, are there any last words you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, it's very honored to be here for the second time. We hope to collaborate with the community more, and we love to sharing with you guys the latest progress in our platform, especially helping the data analysts and helping the marketer using our tool to solve this problem. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Rach. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And we'll see you in future sessions. Bye bye.